world. In other words, brothers and sisters, there is no one to save us but us. In case no one told you this, I'm telling you this. They told me. They thought I was white. So, you know, Dr. Frazer, I was at an all-white event. I'm sort of, maybe God put me here as a spy, a double agent. We will not be saving black people. No. In fact, white folks are not even thinking about black people. Do you know who white folks are thinking about? They're thinking about white folks. They're thinking about their children, their wives, their husbands, their communities, their businesses, their educational system. They're not thinking about you. I had a good white friend who said to me not long ago, he said, George, I know the problem with black people. I said, oh, really? Really, Bob? What might that be? He said, you spend all your time thinking about us, and we don't spend any of our time thinking about you. Therefore, if you're not thinking about you, and we damn sure ain't thinking about you, who's thinking about you? Well, I had to do a Holy Ghost dance. I had Sometimes I feel that we are searching for a key to an unlocked door.
Hello, good people. Welcome to African Commentary. Here we learn and grow every day. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos. I'll really appreciate. So today I'm bringing you a video from the wild. I'm in the jungle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just outside and it's a good morning. It's a chilly morning. I'm surrounded with monkeys wherever I am. So that's not what you're going to talk about today. But what I'm going to talk about today is about a message from Dr. George Frazer. He has a message for you, Black Americans, and it's very important that we listen to this message keenly and take actions with the message that he is bringing to you guys. Keep it in mind, take actions, act on it. It is a very good message. So without saying much, let's watch the video, let's listen to the speech, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end. Also, let me know what have you learned from him, what have you learned from the speech. I'll really appreciate.
I have 2 definitions for leadership. To be a leader is to be awake and alert and to be dissatisfied at all times. Oh yes, we have come a long way, but we have much further to go. Therefore, brothers and sisters, I am not happy. But I am motivated by a positive anger directed towards positive change. What do we know about change? We know that you will never change that which you tolerate, and you will only change when you get angry. Obviously, black people are not quite angry enough. So we will continue to experience pain, death, and social injustice until we stop it, until we act, until we get angry. My second definition is that a leader defines reality and provides hope. A leader defines reality and provides hope. So I'm going to define reality as I see it, as a race man, as a black man that has served our community for 40 years, that has crisscrossed the world, has been every place that black people have been dispersed, South Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, West Africa, all over North Africa, all over South America, and all over the Caribbean. I'm going to define that reality for you. I believe that African Americans are at a pivotal point in history. The world is not waiting for us to wake up to our power. It is time for African Americans to take a seat at the table, not only in America, but also in the global economy. Unfortunately, we continue to place our power in the hands of those who have historically oppressed us, and even worse, we continue to oppress each other. This is the meaning of internalized oppression. To continue to fall into the cultural hypnosis of thinking that white America controls our lives is a true abdication of our personal power, and the reality is that each and every day is an opportunity for us to create a new and powerful story in our culture, and unless we find a way to write this new story and to claim our power, there will be devastating implications for our community and for the world. In other words, brothers and sisters, there is no one to save us but us. In case no one told you this, I'm telling you this. They told me. They thought I was white. So, you know, Dr. Frazer, I was at an all-white event. I'm sort of like, maybe God put me here as a spy, a double agent. We will not be saving black people. No. In fact, white folks are not even thinking about black people. Do you know who white folks are thinking about? They're thinking about white folks. They're thinking about their children, their wives, their husbands, their communities, their businesses, their educational system. They're not thinking about you. I had a good white friend who said to me not long ago, he said, George, I know the problem with black people. I said, oh, really? Really, Bob? What might that be? He said, you spend all your time thinking about us, and we don't spend any of our time thinking about you. Therefore, if you're not thinking about you, and we damn sure ain't thinking about you, who's thinking about you? Well, I had to do a Holy Ghost dance. I had no Sometimes I feel that we are searching for a key to an unlocked door. That the door to opportunity in this great country, this great racist white supremacist country, and it's racist and white supremacy, there's no question about that, it's in the DNA. You will not live to see that change. You will not fix that. There will have to be generations of white people that will simply have to die. Really, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to fix it. You cannot train that out of white people. They will have to die. So we have our work to do. Because there is more opportunity than we have the capacity to take advantage of. We just have to, as Dr. Watkins says, we just have to begin to think that way. The great Dr. Francis Cress Welsing left us with this, and I quote, "We wonder why we cannot, and we wonder why we're not making progress. We wonder why we're not making progress." This is Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. And then she went on to say, "I can't call myself a bitch, a hoe, a nigger, a gangster, and a thug every day and then get up and do something constructive. That's impossible."
Right.
The great rapper Kendrick Lamar said it a little bit differently. And I quote, "How can you fight for love on behalf of your people when you can barely find a reason to love yourself?" Kendrick Lamar. Drake said it a little bit differently. I happen to like Drake. I like the way he put this. I like the way he spit this out. And he said, started from the bottom, now I'm here. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Absolutely, I can relate to that. Born in Brooklyn, New York, in Bed-Stuy. We have lost our consciousness. We must get our consciousness back. The fight for social justice is never ending. We will not achieve it in our lifetime. And as I said earlier, many more will die before this occurs. But that's how it's always been. In studying our people, I have noticed that it takes us about 100 years to achieve the things that we want to achieve. Our fight for freedom. Isn't it interesting that we achieved our freedom without guns or money? And it took us 250 years, but we achieved our freedom. That's how awesome black people are. We freed ourselves without guns or money. Why do you think we were able to do that? We were right, and they were wrong. And whenever you are operating out of goodness and righteousness, you will always win. We achieved our civil rights, voting rights, and public access from 1864 to 1964. It took 100 years, but we achieved it. And we did it without guns or money. Why were we able to do that? Because we were right. How do I know that we will achieve social justice? How do I know that we will close the income and wealth gap over time? I know because we are right and they are wrong. Black collar. That's how I know. But we must chart a good and righteous course, and we must stay that course. And we must now understand that we must focus on wealth. We must focus on economic development and wealth creation. There are many ways to get there. We must answer the question that so many of us ask each and every day, but we don't have an answer. Why is wealth important? Not so that we buy more stuff. We don't need any more stuff. That's our problem. We have too much stuff. We are a consumption class of people. Jews are a merchant class. So we must shift our thinking from consumption class, because that's all we do, to a merchant class. We'll put a pin in that. I'll pick up on that in a moment. Why is wealth important? We are the only culture in the history of humankind that put political empowerment before economic empowerment. Last year we elected over 9,000 black public officials, and we're still at the bottom of the educational and economic heap. What does that mean? You cannot do it by politics alone. How dare you put that kind of pressure on our political leadership? But again, we are no fools. We were born at night, but not last night. We didn't come down here with the last drop of rain. We know that we're all impacted by public policy, and yes, we're all impacted by the politics of inclusion. And yes, we must continue to use the power of our vote to empower those who empower us. If they're not empowering us, if we are not a plank on their platform as it relates to economics and the upliftment of our people and communities, then don't vote for them. That's on you. Why is wealth important? Your wealth will determine where you live. Where you live will determine where your children go to school. Where your children go to school will determine the quality of your children's higher education, and the quality of your children's higher education will determine their lifelong earnings. And your children's lifelong earnings will determine where your children live. And where your children live will determine where your grandchildren go to school. And where your grandchildren go to school will determine the quality of your grandchildren's higher education, and that will determine their life. Do you see the cycle of poverty here? Why is wealth important? Dr. Boyce spoke so eloquently, so fabulously, so granularly of this. That in a market-based economy, in a democratic capitalistic society, in case no one has told you, the only color that really matters is green! So until our pile of grain is as big and as high and as deep and as wide and as leveraged as any other cultural group's pile of green, we will never be considered an equal at the table of democratic capitalism. Why is wealth important? Because when we finish pontificating ad nauseum about our issues, somebody's got to write a check.
Right.
Our Jewish brothers and sisters can write a check. Our Asian brothers and sisters can write a check. Our Arab brothers and sisters can write a check. I've been to Dubai lately, and they can write some serious checks. Stupid money. They got stupid money. We can't write a check. Let me say that differently. We cannot even convene our people unless somebody else writes the check. Ask the NAACP. Ask the Congressional Black Caucus, which I've spoken at for 41 years straight. Ask the Urban League. If somebody else wasn't writing the check, we couldn't even meet. We must fix this in the 21st century. So I'm going to tell you a secret that no CPA will tell you. The tax system was set up for the landowner and the business owner. The landowner and the business owner. So if we don't own land, and we own the fewest number of homes per capita of any cultural group in this country, and we came over here on the Mayflower. And we don't own businesses, and we own the fewest number of businesses per capita of any cultural group in this country. And again, we came over here on the Mayflower. You cannot fully exploit the American tax system. The American tax system will exploit you. So one of the reasons Mitt Romney back in the day when he was running against Obama did not want you to see his tax returns. Why? Not because he did anything illegal. It's because he's a big-time landowner, big-time business owner, and he used the benefits of that land ownership and business owner to pay a micro percentage of tax, far less tax on a percentage basis than you and I will ever pay. America is about equity and ownership, and the idea that the black community can exercise effective power, and I think you said this, boys, political or otherwise, without simultaneously exercising economic power is a fantasy. That capitalism without capital is just ism.
That's right.
So the question becomes for us, or the statement, there can be no collective will and vision without a strong sense of identity, and there can be no strong sense of identity without a unifying purpose. So the question then is, what are we unified around? What is the next big thing? What is the third and final moral imperative and moral assignment? The first two, freedom. The second was civil rights, voting rights, and public access. The third, as far as I'm concerned, is economic development, wealth creation, closing of the income and wealth gap. So, because when we look at the world today, we will see that powerful nations and powerful people are producing people and not just consuming people. And as I've often said in my many speeches around the country, you cannot consume yourself into equality, and you cannot consume yourself into power. And those people who depend upon consumption will see as they consume the products of others and do not produce for themselves will ultimately be consumed by others. Therefore, in the 21st century, the goal for us as a community must be to become a community of owners and savers instead of a community of consumers and renters.
So I've just noted down some few points from what he has spoken about. It's just like a summary of the whole video. Dr. George Frazer is urging Black Americans to be self-reliant, to have self-reliance and anger for change. He says that he argues that true change will only occur when Black people become angry enough to stop tolerating pain, death, and social injustice. Black Americans, you are not angry enough to make these changes. You need to be angry enough. You need to say, you know what? Enough is enough. The moment when you guys will become angry enough is the moment true change will happen, is the moment things will change. As much as right now you have anger, it is not really enough anger that is needed. Anger fuels someone to do something that you thought you can't do. Anger makes you go beyond, like you can move mountains, you can cross seas. You see, that's the anger that we need, that Black Americans need for true change. You need to say enough for all this, enough for social injustices, enough for systemic discrimination, enough for racial profiling. Like, just say enough. It's time. Let's wake up. Let's do this. Let's work on the change that we always talk about. One thing I realized with this life, no one else is coming to save you. If you're a person undergoing some kind of suffering, some kind of pain, you need to stand up for yourself, because if you only talk about it and do nothing, nobody will come to save you. This life, just, it's how you make it, what you make it, and how you want it to be. If you decide that you're okay with the pain, you're okay with the social injustices, that's the way you will live. But the moment you say enough is enough, you wake up and decide, you know what, Black Americans, today we are going to do this, we are going to stand for change, we are going to even march for change to happen. If it needs to go that far, then you can do it, guys. Dr. George Frazer urges you, Black Americans, to be angry enough and also be self reliant. It's the same, because we need to rely on ourselves. If we rely on the systems, they will forever be disappointing, they will never change. We are the ones to say, you know what, we can do this. Let's work towards this. Let's do this to make a change for us, Black people. I hope you've heard and you have listened carefully to the speech. Another point that he has talked about is Black Americans should take a seat at the table. He says that African Americans are at a pivotal point in history and must claim their power, not just in America but in the global economy. He critiques the tendency to place power in the hands of oppressors and the issue of internalized oppression. Black Americans take a seat at the table. For the longest time, Black people have always been left out. We are never at the table. The table has oppressors all the time, the colonizers. They are the ones taking seat at the table, and Black people are taking the leftovers in the kitchen, the ones left in the sufurias, in the pots, or the ones that they will eat and leave on their plates. That's what Black people have been taking for the longest time. But Dr. George Fraser is telling you, Black people, you know what? Take a seat at the table. Stop placing power in the hands of the oppressors. Stop putting yourself down. As much as the system have been putting us down, it's time we say enough is enough. We deserve a seat at the table. For Black Americans, not only in America but globally, you need to put yourself out there. You need to be high, on the high seat, on the front seat at the table. You see, don't leave yourself out of the table feeling like you do not deserve it. You deserve every other good thing that everyone deserves. You see, don't ever put yourself down. Don't ever say that, you know what, we are the oppressed, we are the marginalized group, we don't deserve anything. You deserve everything, everything good, the best of everything. So claim your power. You people are so powerful. Claim your power and take a seat at the table. Enjoy with the others. Don't leave these seats for the oppressors, because when they sit there, they're just discussing how to continue oppressing you guys. But when you're there yourselves, it's hard for them to come up with some policies, to come up with some laws. So claim your power. Dr. George Fraser has spoken about internalized oppression. Okay, it's true that Black people are oppressed. That's true. But now we have come to a point that we need to let it out. We don't need to stay in that situation, in that condition of saying we are oppressed, we are oppressed. It's time we say, you know what, they did it. From now henceforth, they are not going to be able to do that to us. We are powerful, we are strong, we are great people. And we should see ourselves as much important as those oppressors. Let's not put ourselves down. Let's not say that black people can't do anything, they can't achieve anything. No, we deserve the best of everything. Another point, he has stressed on the importance of economic empowerment. Dr. George Frazer stresses that wealth is crucial for black communities' progress. He highlights that focusing solely on political empowerment without economic power is fantasy. He emphasizes the need to shift from a consumption class to a merchant class. Economic empowerment. This is something that can move mountains for us, Black people, you see. We need to build those things that empower us economically. Most of the time we speak about matters like political chaos, maybe spaces for black people in political classes, or let me say in the government, but we don't stress enough about economic empowerment. By economic empowerment, we need to have things that make the life of black people more comfortable, that make life easier for us. You see, because you can't survive without money. You need money to survive. And most of us black people, we are suffering because we haven't empowered ourselves enough economically. We need to have facilities that give us something that promote the growth of black people economically. So Dr. George Fraser says that we shouldn't just focus on political empowerment. Let's also focus on economic empowerment. We can have schools for black people, black Americans. We can have businesses run by black Americans, and actually we have some businesses run by black people, run by black Americans. So we just need to put more effort. We need to promote the growth of our economic empowerment, of your economic empowerment. We need to do this in order to make life more better, more easier for black Americans. Another point Dr. George Fraser has spoken about is collective will and unifying purpose. He says that a strong sense of identity and a unifying purpose are necessary for collective will. He identifies this purpose as economic development, wealth creation, and closing the income and wealth gap. He concludes that the goal for Black community in the 21st century must be to become a community of owners and savers rather than consumers and renters. Wow, this is so powerful. This is so great. Collective will and unifying purpose. Black Americans, Black people in general, we need to have this collective will and unifying purpose. We need to have ways that we come together. We have something that unifies us as a group, and at the same time, it's for the development, it's for the growth of Black people, it's for the growth of Black Americans. We need to be more than consumers and renters. We need to be owners and savers. That's a powerful point because we have left these spaces for the oppressors. We just say that we can't do it. Let's leave it to them. Let's just consume what they give us. No, we can be the one giving them what they consume. We can be the owners of homes and they are the ones renting. Black Americans, you can become more than consumers and renters. You can become owners and savers, you see, because you give these guys a lot. You provide a lot for the oppressors, for the system, for the growth of a nation that does not even value you. So how about we try and change things? How about you try and say, you know what? We are the ones who are going to give you what you consume. We are the ones going to rent you homes. We are going to build homes and you're the ones going to rent. As much as the process might be difficult, but in this way, we are going to Black Americans are going to put themselves out there. The world is going to recognize you and your efforts. And this is just something that is unifying when Black Americans come together, for example, and build some homes. And if someone asks, these homes belong to who? And you say Black Americans. You see, that's just something that Black people, as general or in general, will be proud of. So, Black Americans, don't let internalized oppression keep you down. Don't let what you have been told for the longest time keep you down. You can do this. You are more than what you see or what you believe you are. You are great people. You are strong people because you have persevered a lot and a lot. So it's high time we say, you know what? Enough is enough. We need change for everything. We need change for the system, for the policies, for the laws. We need a big change for Black Americans. And you guys are going to move the world. You're going to, I don't know, if you just come together and decide that we are going to take action, a lot is going to happen. So, with that said, I'll just leave this at here. I hope that you have learned something from this, and also let me know your thoughts about the video in the comment section down below. With that said, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. I will really, really appreciate. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.